So, what's up, guys? This is episode 4 of Behind the Golf Brand podcast. Today, I have my friend Ben from Circles Golf. Ben and I have been friends for a couple years now. He makes some of the coolest shirts around that I think personally. They're very clever and very funny, actually. And his Instagram account has some of the best jokes and memes I've seen also. So, I asked him, hey, would you like to be on my podcast? He said yes. And I have him here today. So without further ado, here's my friend Ben from Circles Golf. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
So where are you at right now?
Well, currently I'm in my basement.
That's your basement?
Yeah, man. As you can see, I'm a big Packer fan. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So this is, I guess, the cleanest area of my house. So that's why I'm here right now.
Did you guys just have a baby?
We did. We just had our second little girl. She's about 3 weeks old now.
Oh my gosh. So you're tired.
I am. Not as tired as my wife, though. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. I remember those days, those long days and nights.
Yeah. Yeah. Our first one, our youngest, she didn't really take it all with feeding. So I was, we'd alternate nights and whatnot. So I was up a lot, but this one's going better. So it's been my wife nonstop. So she's been taking the brunt of it. So I really appreciate that.
That's cool. She's a trooper, right?
She is.
And she deals with you.
Exactly.
Doing a podcast in the basement with some random dude.
I know. Not only that. I asked her if she could, kind of hang out in the bedroom a little bit, so that way we don't hear too much crying going on. So, yeah, hopefully. No, she's all good. We got plenty of stuff in there for them.
So the first question I always ask everybody, is whenever I talk to a brand, and not just on the podcast, but when I meet people, through the website and stuff, or through Instagram, I want to get to know them, right? So I always ask them this most freaking loaded question in the world. I always say, well, what's your story, right? That always helps me know.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Who this person is, if they're cool, if they're arrogant, or they're full of themselves, whatever it might be. And I'll know within the first 5 minutes whether or not they're cool, right? And so that's my first question for you today. Is so what's the story of Circle? So how long have you been doing shirts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I had the idea to do Circles Golf back in 2015. At that point, I'd already been, creating, selling, apparel online for 10 years. I started doing it when I was in college back in 2005. I started doing it actually out of a garage of an apartment I was living in. Actually, at one point, we had the people come tell me I can't do that anymore. So I had to take everything down and set it back up once they left and all that. So that's kind of how I got started with it. I had some pretty good success for about 10 years. And I just really wanted to do something a little different, but that still involved a lot of the things I learned with that experience. So yeah, like I said, 2015 is when I first had the idea to do Circles Golf. So I love all sports. Again, as you can see behind me, got a lot of Packers stuff there. Just, all sports. That's the thing I really like about golf too, is I feel like, people that play other sports, especially let's say NFL players, NBA players, Major League Baseball players, all them guys, I feel like a lot of them relate to golf. They may be passionate about their sport, but a lot of them are just as passionate about golf, which I think is pretty cool. And, I don't know if you got a chance to watch, did you watch the match this past weekend with?
I did. It was cool. It was fun to watch it.
It was cool and it was fun. Obviously we know Phil and Tiger, and but I just thought it was cool seeing Peyton Manning and Tom Brady get a chance to do that. And these guys do play a decent amount of golf, which is it's crazy. And I'm not glad. I'm not a Brady fan, but I did feel really bad for him the way he was struggling that first 9. But yeah, no, that's what I like about golf. I guess anybody can do it. A lot of sports you can only play till a certain age. Golf, you can play when you're as young as, whatever, as long as you can stand basically. And, until the end of time. So, my thought for creating a brand, was a golf brand, I guess was, I just love sports, but I love the team aspect of it as well. Everybody has their teams. When I was a kid, even still to this day, I love getting sports gear. And that's kind of the one thing about golf that you don't have is you don't have teams, you don't have mascots, you don't have that aspect of it. So, with creating the logo for Circles Golf, that was kind of what I really wanted to do, is I guess get something that almost represented a sports team, something that could stand the test of time, something that could, just be a versatile, I guess, logo that could be used in a lot of different ways. So, I'm a little partial, but I would say after it having been created now for a few years, I really absolutely love, everything about, I guess, our logo and everything that I can do with that. So.
You started making shirts in college.
Yes.
For what? For eBay or something?
So I did exactly. Yeah.
Etsy
So I did, so I caught eBay. I caught eBay really early on. Man, I did it. So like I learned the process. I took some class in high school where I learned the process of screen printing. And I think it was in my second last year of college. And, I thought just for fun, I bought the equipment, started doing it out of the garage where I was living. And there was a beer pong tournament at a bar that I worked at. And, I asked them if I could make shirts for it, and they were all about it. So I made a decent amount.
Sure, go ahead. Can we get a cut of that?
Right, exactly. And they had, I think it was Miller Lite, or Miller, I should say, like sponsored it. So they paid me to make the shirts and everything. And, afterward, I just had a couple extras. So I threw them on eBay. At this point, I'd never used eBay, and I threw them on eBay, went to class, came back, and I think it was like 3 shirts, and I sold all 3 of them for in the 30s, like almost $100 between these 3 shirts. I'm like,
that's a lot of money when you're in college. Like, holy crap.
Not only that, I mean, I think at that point I had an internship at the union, I think I was the advertising marketing coordinator there, where I made like $5 an hour doing that. Worked at a gas station where I made like 5 something. So suddenly I throw some shirts on eBay, and I'm like, this is more than I'm going to make in a week doing this. So yeah, that kind of got me started. I continued that on. I jumped on Etsy pretty early on. And to be honest, the only reason I got on Etsy is because as I noticed my sales kind of dropping on eBay,
why is that?
Kind of just start. Well, here's why it was, because I didn't know. Well, exactly. So I didn't really know what Etsy was, but when I would Google, some of the things I was selling, they would pop up on Etsy. And it was like my idea, my design, but other people were selling them. So I'm like, if other people are selling my stuff on Etsy, I'm going to see what this is all about and do the same. So, I caught that fairly early on too, which was really big. And then Amazon I did as well. That one I caught on a little later. I had some early success, but that one kind of dropped off a bit. But yeah, that's kind of how I got the start with.
So are you still doing stuff on Amazon or no?
Not Amazon. Actually, you know what? I am a little bit, but I don't, very minimal. So
the pricing gouges the hell out of people. Like if you're trying to sell on there, it's like, you guys, from what I understand, I don't know.
Well, and to be honest, to be honest, the big thing is, and it comes along with the whole idea of a brand, and it kind of is what, made me want to do a brand even more is, so I was doing really well for a while on Amazon. I was only on it for like a year at the time. And suddenly I was like selling nothing. And I got a message from somebody who had purchased something from me in the past. And they said that they tried buying a shirt that they had previously purchased from me, and they really loved it. They wanted to buy another one. So they purchased it, but then they found out it was like a fake account. So then I look into it, and there would be like 10 fake accounts, like based out of China, where they have no feedback, but they were charging like half the price I was charging. So what they would do, I'm assuming, is sell, how many ever shirts. And then once enough people would complain that, hey, this isn't a legitimate place,
so they count down, they got the money.
Exactly, but they have the money. So I tried contacting eBay, and they're like, you need to show that you have the
you mean Amazon
trademark for these, or Amazon, yeah. You have to have the trademark for this, or the copyright, all that stuff. And I'm like, man, that's just like a pain. And at that point, I'm like, that was another reason why I just really wanted to start, a brand. So that way, just everything that I create
is housed all together. Brand. It's all yours. Exactly. It's not like a one-off shirt you're selling on a platform. Dude, I'd be so pissed, man.
I was, especially like I was doing really well with it, but I guess it helped force me to transition to the next stage, I guess, which is Circles Golf.
So right now, then I know you have the website, obviously, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
And then are you selling that? Is there anything on eBay still, or no, you're done with that?
So I do still sell on eBay and Etsy, and I do Amazon a little bit, but truthfully, I haven't added anything.
Oh yeah, it's just
3 years probably. Yeah, it's there.
It's
exactly.
there.
So
if you get a sale from it, nice. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's not like it's not even it's not your focus, right? The focus is the website, your platform you've built, and then driving the traffic to that and the people so they can check it out. So, all right. So you started the shirts in college, and then like how long were you? So what year was that? So that was 2005. You said you started doing shirts ish.
Yeah. Yep.
Like this is all like, this is like the heyday of like eBay, man. eBay.
I know exactly.
Like seriously, like 2005. Yeah. Like, dude, I sold stuff on eBay in 2005. Like people just.
Yeah.
And Amazon wasn't as big as it was now back then. I mean, I know it was big, but they weren't like they are now.
Right. Yep.
So then, how did you transition? So from doing stuff on eBay and then to Circles, like what made you say, you know what, golf's my sport. I love golf. I want to start doing golf shirts because I think it's going to be cool. Like when did that happen?
Yeah. So like I said, in 2015, I kind of had the idea. I would say for a good year, I just kept having that idea. And I actually started like a note in my cell phone, just with different golf shirt ideas or just ideas for a golf brand. And it literally was almost a year later. I probably still have it in my phone. It was probably a list of like 100 things.
You still have that phone? Holy crap.
I just need to, no, I do actually. I have my,
it's like a flip phone.
I don't use it anymore, but I actually do have my old cell phone with all like different stuff that I might still need, so I can airdrop it to my new one and do that.
That's cool.
But yeah, no. So I, after about a year, I'm like, all right, I have to pull the trigger on this. So I guess the big thing for me though, yeah. So, and not only that, I already had like all the knowledge of creating the products and whatnot. And I also have created a couple other websites before Circles Golf in the past. So I understood the basics of it. So for me, the big thing was, I guess, coming up with a name and a logo that I just really could get behind and that I just really would like. And I think, would stand the test of time. And so I guess the first thing was coming up with a name. Circles Golf, as any golfer knows, I'm sure, is, when you get a birdie or anything better on a hole, you mark it with a circle on the scorecard.
That's what came with your name. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. So I'm not a good golfer by any means. I mean, I have my moments, but,
I've never circled anything in my entire life on my scorecard.
So
that's why I don't know it.
Right. No, so I think it's funny you say that, because I've golfed this year and I live in Wisconsin. So that's what's tough. So we have like usually at least 4 months. This year we had like 5.5 months where I couldn't golf at all. But then on top of that, with all this COVID going on, it was a couple more months where I couldn't golf. So I've only been out, I want to say like I've played 3 or 4 times, and I just played 18 for the first time. At Erin Hills, like I was telling you before.
That's cool.
Got to show off my sweet tan lines I got here. This is what happens when you don't play
those
golf.
Guns. I see those guns.
Yeah.
That's just makeup, bro. You're trying to show your guns on YouTube. Right? Just kidding.
No, so
look at my guns.
No, so anyways, I was thinking, man, I played like what is that? 45 holes or so. I actually had 5 birdies this year, which for me, 5 birdies is great and all. But after every single birdie I made this year, I followed up with a double bogey, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, it evens it out.
Exactly.
It's like that meme where it's like that when you like posted like a couple weeks ago, it was like all circles. Remember that or whatever it was? Or it was like this is my score after the first 5 holes or whatever it was.
But it was
I can't remember. It was so freaking funny though.
Yeah. Yep. It was something with, I think it was one of Tiger's scorecards where it was like 5 circles in a row to start out the round. And it said, this is what my scorecard looks at when I'm counting my putts per each hole.
Yeah. Like, that. And like, dude, I reposted that and I must have had like 100 comments, man. It was so freaking funny. Cause I was like, for sure it's me.
Relate to that. Yeah. Everybody can relate to that. But no, that's what I loved about the name Circles, Circles Golf is that, you don't have to be good. It's, with golf, like it just takes one hole where somehow, even if it's by accident, you hit the ball just right, you make a birdie, and that's what you're going to remember. So, a fun story with that is cool. The morning my first daughter was born, my wife and I actually went golfing. It was on her due date. We played 9 holes.
She hit all circles.
Short par 3. No, definitely not.
You're like, holy crap, you're going to have a baby today.
Yeah, no, she literally plays like 2 or 3 rounds a year, and she has a better swing than I do. But she's
better than you too. You're like, what the?
Well, I was just gonna say. So that first hole was like 110, 120 par 3, hits it to the fringe, makes like a 20, 30 foot putt for birdie. So I always tell that story when people ask about, our first daughter, Harper, when she was born. I'm like, well, my wife and I, we went golfing that morning. She got her first birdie. Everything was perfect. But I just think stuff like that is awesome. Like that's the only birdie she's ever got. But that's all it takes. It's just one awesome hole. And
yeah. I know, because I've been on your side lots of times. So does she help you with all your photography and stuff like that?
Yeah, she does. She does a decent amount. Yeah. She does.
That you and her on a lot of those photos. A lot of them, friends of yours too and stuff.
Definitely friends. Definitely. It's awesome when and anybody that has a brand knows this, when people send you pictures wearing your products. That's just awesome.
That's a compliment.
So I try. Exactly. And that's not something I normally would do, but that's something that I try to do more so now, just because I know how much you appreciate that. So, man, I think, what are they called? Good Walk Coffee. I saw them comment on one of your posts not too long ago. It's a coffee company based out of California. And I got some for Father's Day, and I actually brought some of their like teas and stuff and ball markers along to Erin Hills the other day. I wanted to take some pictures and send it to them. And I just
messaged me.
Cool. And I never got around to it, and I feel bad, but I want to, do more of that kind of stuff. There's so many cool, I'm obviously all about, my brand and everything, but there are so many other cool brands that are out there that, that's what I love about
that's kind of why I did the podcast, because like I have these relationships with all these people like you,
Right.
right? All these people I know personally. Like I don't know you as Ben from Circles. Like it's
Right.
from Ben, right? And it's
Right.
like I don't think I learned this year that the golf world is very small, especially when it comes to like brands and stuff like that. And it's more than just a brand; it's the people behind the brand.
Right.
And that's why I kind of the podcast. I'm like, you guys don't even know who these people are, but they run these companies, and their stories are crazy. And you're like, oh, I see them on Instagram. Yeah, but do you know who they are? Like, they're not. These are not mega corporations. These are people just like you and me doing something that's they're passionate about.
Yeah, that's exactly. And that's what's awesome about. I mean, yeah, and social media can be, it can be a negative thing, but it also like can be such a positive thing. It gives, brands like Circles Golf or Golfers Authority or any of these other brands a chance to showcase themselves without having to pay all the big advertising bucks and get their name out there. It allows you to get your stuff out there and build those.
It's pretty doggy dog too, man. Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to do that, but like my people I talk to, they're like, oh yeah, they cost a lot. I mean, that costs a lot of money, like a ton of money. I was like, seriously, that much? Like, oh yeah. I'm like, that's dumb. I don't know. That is crazy.
I was gonna say a lot of people are really cool. Like, and I want to start doing that more. But early on, I just trying to build that following. I reached out to a lot of people, and a lot of people were very receptive. I'd find accounts of people that I feel like their content really matched what Circles Golf is all about, and they would have a decent following. I'll just send them a message and say, hey, if I send you a shirt, would you mind posting or wearing it and make a post with it? And it was surprising how many people are just really cool with that. A quick story. It was so cool. It was, I posted a shirt that said like ride or die with the American flag on it for the Ryder Cup a couple of years ago. And I had some girl make a comment on it about how she loved the shirt. So I, clicked on her profile. She had a ton of followers. And I'm like, if you, make a post wearing the shirt, I'll be glad to send you the shirt. So I got a message back from her manager saying like, for this much money, she'll do this, for that much, she'll do that. And I'm just like, I appreciate it, but I'm actually not looking to really spend any money with it. And she's like, oh, that's, no worries. She was super nice about it. She's like, if you still want to send her the shirt, it's this address. Wasn't going to do it. I'm like, what the heck? I'll just send it to her. All of a sudden, it was like a Friday afternoon. All of a sudden, my sales on my phone just started blowing up. I just kept getting notifications, and I click on Instagram, and she had made a post. And at this point, I didn't even know that she was going to be working the Ryder Cup for the Golf Channel, I believe it was.
Holy crap.
And she made the announcement that that's what she was doing, wearing the shirt, and then tagged me in it. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. That was so like,
because you didn't have to do that.
That's
exactly. Exactly. It's the little things. So, like you don't have to do certain, I do a lot of stuff like free stuff like that. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'll post that, whatever. Just tell me when to post it. Like, and I'll talk to all my friends too. Like I'll help you out because you're my friend. Like, it's just, I don't know. You're jerks. Cool. I'm like, no thanks.
Right.
But,
and I mean, at the same time, if especially if you send somebody something and they get something they like, it's, why not?
They like it. They want to support you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something I want to do more of too, is just kind of like repaying the favor, especially with like some of these, accounts that on Instagram, which is the main one I use, just like kind of trying to like repay them a little bit in some way, shape or form, giving them shout outs and all that stuff. But, there's so many people that have these awesome accounts that create this great content, that I'm able to share, you're able to share. And, it's
that's
just
the
awesome
thing too, because what kind of pisses me off is Instagram did that dumbass redo configuration in what was it, like June? And now it's like hard as hell to get followers. Like, I mean, it's so slow. It doesn't matter what you do, right? And I don't even know if half the stuff's even getting posted anymore or getting shown. It's like, what the hell is going on? Before it was like all the time, and now it's like dead. And I know like people, I know pretty big influencers that are not in golf, right? And they're like, they would delete a bunch of people that weren't following, like just they deleted people for whatever reason, like they can do what they want. And then they got their account locked for like a week. And then they're like, what? Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, for no reason. They're like, and it's like, they put these controls on there now. I know all kinds of people. So like, I feel it. I mean, I have like I have like right around 13,000. Like I'm hovering. Like sometimes I'll be 12.9, then I'll be like 13.1. Just depends, whatever. But like, I know people I feel it's hard as hell, man. I know a lot of people with like 1,400 followers. Like, how do I get more followers? I'm like,
man, and that's exactly. I get messages. In fact, I need to respond to somebody that just sent me a message asking the same thing. And the truth is, and I've had other people, which I appreciate, because when I was there, I wanted people to help me out as well. But I appreciate people reaching out. But yeah, like with me, and what I tell them is, I literally, when I started with 0 followers, it took me a full year. This is no joke, to get like 250 or 300 followers. It took me like a year.
Yeah.
Then I linked up with an account that's not even around anymore. They had like I don't know, like 70,000 followers, and I did a giveaway, and it was awesome. It was a really good idea. It was like one where, because normally it's like
my giveaways were really good ideas.
Exactly. But no, like, so I thought it was a really clever idea. So what I did is normally it's just like take 3 people and whatever, and then if you just take 3 people that aren't even people that you know or whatever. So I said, I think it was like 6 or 8 shirts. And I said, take somebody and what shirt they would want, and then also what shirt you would want. And it got like thousands of comments. And my followers, which doesn't seem like much now, but it went from like 250 or 300, it doubled to like 500 or 600. And that was just huge. And again, 600 right now seems like nothing, but at the time that was just huge. And it was kind of like
it's so a hard big stepping stone. It's so
exactly.
Hard.
So then it took me, I would say another 6 months to get up to 1,000. So I was only at like 1,000 followers up in like at the beginning of 2019, actually. So yeah, I was only at like 1,000 followers. And then it took me,
you have a lot.
I think I hit, it's been going awesome. I feel like I figured there is an algorithm to it, and I'm not claiming I understand it by any means, but like I do pay attention a lot to like which posts are getting a lot of views and likes and sends and shares and all that stuff. And like, a big thing, trick shots are huge, but they were really big before the whole COVID-19 thing.
It's so watered down now. Like everybody,
but that's what I was just going to say. And that sucks, because like I see a video of like somebody putting on a blindfold and like on a skateboard, hitting a shot off of a window into a cup or something like that. I'm like, that's nothing. And it's like, I could put a cup 20 feet in front of me, it'd take me an hour to chip it into that cup.
I'd be lucky if I hit the cup over.
But that's what I'm saying though. So
it's like, so watered down now.
So it was
huge.
Dead.
A year ago, it was huge. Who's that guy in Texas that does those really cool ones? I can't remember what's his name, but it's
so like I would say the biggest ones are like Coach Rusty, hole-in-one trick shots, and then I can't think of her name. She's on like some commercials even, but I'd say those 3 are 3 of the biggest. But there's a lot of other ones too. But so anyways, like at the start of the whole quarantine type thing, like everybody was making these, and they were all over the place, and they were getting tons of views and shares. But then after a couple weeks, it's like there's so many good ones that it just, like you said, it got watered down.
Unfortunately, it takes years for it to go back to where it was, dude. Like, because people are so over it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's too much of a good thing. You're like, oh, good, another one.
It's crazy because it's like they're so good, and it's insane how good they are, but like they just aren't getting the views that they once did.
Yeah,
so
it's sad.
So I've kind of
still, that's talent. Don't get me wrong, that's complete talent.
So cool. It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like, I don't know. What I'm finding, I know this is what happens on this podcast. Just we talk business too. What I'm finding on Instagram right now is video dominates. You got a video.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, even if you look at the big brands, like they'll post a picture, nobody cares. Like, honestly, but if you post the same picture and like do some kind of video with it, I don't know, whatever it is, then people care. And it's almost like, I wonder if it's because people are seeing it load. I have no idea, but that's what I found. Like a year or two ago, it wasn't like that. You get a good picture, you get a bazillion likes, right? Now it's like, and I almost think it's because of the algorithm. I don't think it's because of the product. I think it's the algorithm, because I don't think it's showing up in the feed. That's what I think. I could be wrong.
Well, and that's another thing too I've noticed, which I want to post more products, but whenever I post a product, my likes, they go down considerably. And
like
that makes sense, because
you're like,
people,
what the hell?
And it makes sense because, when you're scrolling through Instagram, you don't want to only see, you're not only trying to buy stuff. I mean, a lot of people aren't trying to. No. Exactly. So that's why I try to mix it in, or I'll get a decent picture of somebody wearing a shirt. And then I'll just say in my comments, I'll say, you can find the shirt here, rather than tagging the product. Because when you take products, I really do think it brings down your views quite a bit. So, but that being said, I personally think so. I don't know that for sure, but I've noticed that. I don't know. My personal experience. So that being said, though, I am a brand and I do sell products. So I definitely try to do it like 1 to 2 times a week, or I try to mix into my stories more. But yeah, it's all about kind of trying to.
It's a clunky system, dude. I don't know.
Instagram's
clunky. I love Instagram. Don't get me wrong, but like you have to go to there's only one URL, right? Unless you have 10,000 followers, then you can start doing stuff in your stories. And like it's just a clunky system. But I mean, what's the alternative? There isn't any. So
well, yeah, and I think that's why, for me personally, like it is perfect for Circles Golf, because it's all visual, and
100%.
I just love the how visual.
I think that people like I have friends, like I said before, they're not in golf, and they dominate on YouTube and they dominate on Instagram. But like honest to God, I would say 95% of what my friend does is video. That's it. And it's like, it's not even, it's not like a really like sexy brand, not sexy, I don't know what you want to call the word, like industry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like a normal one, but it's like, it's the video and it's personality behind the video. That's what, and that's
exactly.
what I think.
And once you get a following and they keep coming back for your content, man, you know, that's
my kids watch this guy named
right
Sunday. I don't know who Sunday is, but
dude,
like,
yeah,
he's on YouTube. You don't have kids that is old, but when they get older, you have girls.
Right.
I have boys that are like little boys that think they're Sunday's the coolest person on the planet. This dude has 14 million freaking subs, dude. And all he does, I love him. I'm very entertained by him too. But he's playing Fortnite. And like, and he's playing, but he's very creative. He has been for years, and I love Sunday. Yeah. But like, I'm like, holy crap, dude! 14 million followers, or that's, I mean, subscribers. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, my 2 oldest nieces. I mean, they legit. I'll be over there, and they'll be on their iPad watching videos of like a kid like opening boxes of gifts and stuff. So it's like, and they like love it. I'm like, what? Like what?
I'm
but like,
kid.
yeah, that's true, actually.
Okay, well, that's good. That's the end of the show today. Thank you. Let's take it.
It's different when you're.
Well, not yet. I haven't. No. Okay, I'm dropping my first one today, but like it's fun. I don't know. Hopefully.
Oh my God, no, and don't get me wrong. So it's fun, especially when you're the one opening the products. You know, I guess I didn't think of it that way, but like I don't.
Like
I
your
feel
birthday,
like
and you're at a birthday party, nobody cares. The kid's getting, but it's almost
right.
Like
oh my God,
because when you're like a kid and everyone's opening, the kid's opening presents, like, oh, that's the thing you wanted. Now so and so.
Yeah.
No, Ben got it. Like, I want that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, man. I would love to get a box of like if you're gonna start doing that, man. Get in a box of.
I like getting a box from Circles with a bunch of shirts.
I was just gonna say I'll send you one for sure to do an opening for. Look at that transition there.
Look I did that.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna put a graphic that comes up.
I love
Buy now. I already have a lot of Circles shirts. What are we talking about? Yeah, Instagram's been crazy. I don't know what to do. It is what it is, I guess. I mean, I was talking to somebody about it, and you got to think about who your demographic is and where they're at, right? So, I mean, I have friends who are on TikTok now. I know TikTok's blowing up big time, but you got to think about who your demographic is. And I mean, it's a lot of work to do a 15-second video. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And there's only so much you can do. So, and that, I guess
that's exactly what it is. You have so much time in the day. So it's like, okay, we're going to work it on.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I did 2 days on TikTok. Look how you're
like an old geezer, dude. You're like, back in my day we had TikTok. There is candies.
What is it?
Oh, Grandpa, tell us the story about the good old days.
Space chat stuff. But no, so I the first day I went on TikTok, I actually found 2 awesome videos, golf videos, and I posted them on Instagram, and they did well. They did great. And the best part is they were 2 that weren't on Instagram yet, as far as, you know, I know. But then I went back the next day, and I must have spent like an hour scouring, and I could not find anything. And I'm like, man, I don't have the time or patience to keep looking for stuff on here. So,
I mean, I like TikTok.
Exactly.
So it was like, I mean, last October I went to, we called it a retreat, right? And so what we did is we all went to San Diego, a bunch of people that I know that do this, and they're all getting into TikTok, and they're like, oh, you need to do TikTok. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then now they're like 1 million freaking followers on TikTok and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They get gifts in the mail from TikTok. Like my bone buddy got like a freaking Valentine's Day box of chocolates from TikTok. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
I mean, that's exactly it though. You catch anything like that early, and you're going to blow up a lot easier. But
I think it depends on what you're doing.
It takes time. Yeah, that's true.
I think it depends on what your area is or what you're passionate about. Like, I don't know. What my friends do, I can see why it's cool. I guess I could probably try it. I mean, you could.
And after we're done with this, I'm getting on TikTok. And
no, you're not. You're going to TikTok, which is the Chinese version. And they're going to steal your shit.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. Now we're aging ourselves. So, all right. When did Circles launch?
So like I said, it was the idea in 2015. The logo I finished up in 2016.
Oh, hold on.
And then
logo. Let's talk about your logo. I like your logo. I've talked to you about this before.
Yeah,
I like your thinking behind the logo. I think logo says a lot about the person and about the brand. So tell a story about the logo and why you decided to go with chirps and why it's drawn the way it was. And I think it's really smart, actually.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the name came to me right away. Circles came to me right away. I already talked about that. So the logo, I knew I wanted I knew I wanted to be like almost like a sports mascot. And
like
I really
old school sports mascot, not like cartoonish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I knew I wanted to be a bird for birdie, obviously with circles and all that stuff. And I don't even know what type of bird it technically would be. I know the artist, I told him I wanted to be like a robin, simply because I'm in Wisconsin. That's a state bird. I know it's kind of lame, but that was the idea behind the type of bird. But yeah, we went back and forth. I found this awesome artist out of Maryland, actually on Instagram. I initially
found a lot of good artists on Instagram. I reach out to them all the time, dude. I'm like,
yeah, I was initially
really
trying to be cheap, and after throwing a few $100s away trying to find random artists and like just being so disappointed.
Like on Fiverr, Upwork, or something.
Yeah, actually, I think I did use Fiverr on one of them, and man, I use Upwork a lot. I do love Upwork. I've found
I do too. I use Fiverr a lot too.
Just built really. That's exactly. There's
right
good people.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly.
It's like anywhere.
So,
it's
exactly. So, but anyways, I after a while, I found this guy on Instagram, and I just went through his I guess profile, and I just loved his style. So I reached out to him, and we came to an agreement. It was like a 2 to 3 month process probably, and we went back and forth and back and forth. And to be honest, I could not have been more excited when he gave me the final product. I'm like, this is exactly what I was envisioning. That was the end of 2016. And then I want to say probably September, October of 2016. And then from that point, I'm like, okay, I got everything in place. So I got all the products together. I got the website together, all the logistics behind, making everything run.
What's your website built on? Is it WordPress or Shopify?
It's actually Shopify. So
that's cool.
I've really enjoyed it. Again, it's very user friendly. I've really enjoyed it.
It's very new. It's a very intuitive, the way it's been designed. You just plug and play. I don't even know. It's like coding. Yeah, you don't do coding and like crap breaks. It's like, well, that shouldn't have broke because it's all a process. Going back to, like I said, I started 2005. I've created websites on a lot of these other sites like that, and then I've also had, I think 3 other times I've had other companies create websites for me. Oh. It's the worst when all I want to do is change the background on the homepage. Well, they charge you for it. Like, oh, you want to change that? It'll be $14. Yeah. Like, it literally took them like 1 second to do it.
Right. Exactly. So that's what I do like about that, is you can kind of just change it on your own. So I got that, all set up, and I launched in July of 2017. So I think we're coming on 3 years now. Yeah. Yep.
When did I launch? It was pretty rough, my first draft on my site though.
Well, and that's exactly it. It's all a learning process. And
yeah, it was right. I had a really good mentor early on who told me, I was all excited to show him my site, right? This influencer. And I was like, he decided to meet with me, and I would show my site, and he goes, he literally ripped my website apart for 4 hours. That's literally what he did. And I was like, oh, and then after I left, and then I was like, I was in California at the time, and that's where I met with him. And then I called him, or I texted him, I'm like, hey, I know you're super busy and you run a big brand. I'm like, but would you mentor me? And he's like, oh, I'm really busy. Let me think about it. And then like 2 hours later, he texted me back. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. The reason why I did that was because he was honest, right? Like he could be like, oh yeah, looks good, keep it up. And I would have kept on going. And he like literally just ripped it apart and told me all the problems. Like, he's like, you look like everybody else. It's a theme, blah, 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 blah. He's like, that's not how you do it. Trust me, I've done this. Like, I did the same thing. Yep. Like, he was trying to teach me. He had no skin in the game. He didn't care. Why would he?
No, that's awesome. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, I want this guy to teach me more. And like, he's always, whenever I go to him on stuff I'm doing, like he'll be like, reality check, like, no, don't do that, or you're wasting your time or whatever.
And that's awesome to have people like that. And that's kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Like, I love that people reach out to me now, and I want to, try to help them more. And, a big thing too is just, it's not easy. You can't do everything. So, just doing as much as you can, but also not being afraid to reach out to people and help people, that reach out to you. So, that's I do a lot with my friends I work with. Like, I'll just say like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And they'd be like, no. And I'm like, oh, you should probably do that, and then like, or whatever. I like sharing with my friends, that already. Like, we always do stuff, but like, we're both learning stuff as it goes along. And then it's like, well, I tried it, so I'm gonna not do that. And not only that, and the thing you need to remember too is that nobody knows your business, knows your brand like you do. So
we're all different.
You have to appreciate feedback and take it for what it is, but it doesn't mean you need to 100% listen to what they're saying. I have a good story with that too. In terms of when I was first starting out, I had this guy, I don't even know how we connected. He ran a Facebook group, a golf community Facebook group. It had a ton of followers. He got a shirt from Circles Golf and just messaged me and said it was just too thin for him. He didn't think people would want to pay money for a shirt that was that thin. And I just told him like, I understand you feel that way. I've been selling for over 10, 12 years now. I've done over 35,000 sales.
Like I know this
yeah,
works.
No, I told him, I'm like, I've sold over 35,000
you
shirts.
You lose some weight. That's why it's so thin
I have,
on you.
well, no, and
it's just,
and like some people, and I actually had one other person that bought a Circles Golf shirt that said it was just too thin. And I get it. I personally love like the thinner, softer shirts, but I also know some people like the really heavy, thick ones.
Yeah,
but to me personally, those are a little, that's exactly it. So that's why, so while I didn't, change what I was, I guess, using for shirts, I did make it a point to try to do better with my descriptions on my website, saying like, this is like a poly cotton combo
so they know.
shirt.
Yeah.
It's soft, it's lightweight, it's thin, because a lot of people love these type of shirts. And again, it's not, it's not for everybody, but
it's hard finding the right shirt. Dude. Like I know that. We talked about that earlier today. I was like,
right.
Yeah, my favorite shirt company changed shirts and I didn't know that. And then I like have all these shirts that don't fit now because I washed them and they're not comfortable. And I'm like, what the hell? It's the same design. It's a different shirt. Yeah. And then I looked at the tag and I'm like, it's a completely different shirt. What the heck?
Right. No, and that's exactly, not all shirts are the same. Like I could, let's say I sell those heavy cotton shirts that are thick. I could have somebody buy one that says, this is way too thick. I need something thinner, blah, blah, blah. Man, there's this one brand that I just love their designs. And I don't know why I just keep buying from them, but like their shirts just don't fit me at all. Like I bought one of them that was a large, and that's what I normally wear. It like barely went to my waist. And I'm like, oh, I just love this design, but it's just not the right fit. So, it's not going to be for everybody.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You just have to be okay with that.
So what's new for what do you have going on for this year? What kind of, you got new designs? Man, or you've been,
I have so many things. I'm really excited. I feel like this whole COVID thing has given me a little extra time to, I guess, put some of my thoughts into action. So I would say definitely a lot of new products.
More shirts or what? Like, are you doing
more everything? So I want to do more accessories. I just started I got some pretty cool custom tees, golf tees. I want to get some more accessories in terms of working with some different places for like ball marks, repair tools, green repair tools, head covers, putter covers, that kind of thing. With what I'm doing with Circles Golf, like I want it to be first and foremost something that I will wear or use. If it's not something I would wear or use, I won't do it. With my other shirts that I've designed, created, sold in the past, like I definitely have like something's been popular, in the real world, and
no, you're smart. You're always on top. I always feel like you're right at the tip of the knife. Like what's going on.
I do a good job of catching on to a trend. So, but like with that, it would be stuff that even if I wasn't about it, I'll still create it and sell it. But with Circles, I want it to be all stuff that I would, get behind myself.
The best advice I ever got from like a brand who's a really good big brand that are awesome is, and I thought it was so brilliant. It was one of the first things they ever told me. This is like a couple of years ago. They said, we only work with brands that are like us and that they only do one thing. Right. And then we work with that brand.
They specialize in one thing.
They specialize in that one thing. So like we will work with that brand because they're known for making X and we make Y. Yes. So we'll make a Y version of X, but we'll do it with them because they know what they're doing. And then that's what we do with all of our products whenever we like release new stuff. And I'm like, that's brilliant because that you're not wasting time or money. And like, I don't know, like nothing. I've had people try to do the opposite and I've caught it and I'm like almost embarrassed for them. I'm like, did people really buy this?
I do. I've talked a lot about sports, my love for sports in general. I'm doing like a kind of like a sports themed collection where it kind of like mixes in Chirps, the Circles Golf mascot, with other sports, just with different types of apparel. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping to have that kind of up by August 1st is my goal, but to be honest, it might even be up sooner. And then the last thing I want to do before the end of the year is get some kids stuff. I mean, I have 2 kids of my own. I know you have a couple. I just want to get some stuff that my daughter can wear.
I love your shirts, dude. Here's straight up. I'll be straight with you guys. I've known Ben for like a year now, probably. We started talking. We met on Instagram. I know it was like we're dating.
Yeah,
I met on Instagram. But like, I don't remember. Oh, I know what it was. I just saw his logo. I know it sounds. I always say that a lot. Like I see someone's logo, and I always click on their thing. I'm like, who's this? Right. And then I started seeing the shirt. I was pretty funny. And it's a good posting. And then I went to his website and I just reached out. Nice reach out to you. And I was like, hey man, this is really cool stuff. Love to work with you. And then you like sent me some product. You're like, we had a call and then you sent me some product and we reviewed it last fall. I think by the time that article came out was last fall and we just became friends. Like that's really what happened. And then, but like, honestly, and I'll tell you right now, like I have a bunch of shirts from you now. But like their quality, like he's 100% stands behind his product. Like he doesn't go send this crap out to get made. Like he makes his by buys Hanes in his basement and he packages it himself in his house and he mails the whole process. So it's like, if there's a problem, you go back to Ben and be like, yo, this thing faded or he's a piece of crap or something happened. He's all over it because he made it. It's not like the quality control is 100% with circles. So that's
exactly it. I just, customer satisfaction is number one for sure. And that's what I love about doing the whole process with this is when somebody buys a shirt or a couple shirts or whatever they may purchase, like I'll see the type of thing they're purchasing. And then I always throw in extra stuff. I have lots of extra.
Oh, that's the other thing you guys always throw in like a bunch of extra stuff. Like you buy a shirt and next thing you know, you got like 5 other things just because Ben's cool.
So I try to match it up with what they purchase. I try to match up like with what they purchase, something that I think that they would really enjoy.
Like a gift set. You're like, you buy a shirt, but then you get a koozie,
well, that's exactly
you might get some tees and some stickers. Like just,
absolutely.
No, I think that's really cool. You always do that. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think that's really cool.
I mean, there's been times where somebody will buy like 4 or 5 shirts and I'll throw them. I'll just throw them in a random shirt that isn't even out yet that is along the lines of the same, style of shirts that they purchase. And, if somebody's going to spend that much money, absolutely. I'd be more than glad to throw them something extra. And that's what it's all about. Like, I obviously want to make money, but at the same time, like, I just think it's such a fun brand. And that, like, I know obviously I'm the one that
it's a fun brand, you guys. It's not like a cheesy brand. It's like a fun, but he gets the game. So.
And that's exactly it. And that's exactly it. It's just a very laid back brand. Like I
super laid back.
Yeah. I want all, different types of golfers to be, I guess, fans of Circles Golf, whether you're a scratch golfer, a weekend hack, somebody that plays once a year at a golf outing or something. I just want all different types of golfers, I guess, to relate to the brand. So.
No, I think people do. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, last thing I want to quick say is, if you don't already follow us on social media, especially Instagram, just at Circles Golf, lots of fun stuff. I really want to step it up with contests, guessing golf tournament winners, that kind of thing. Just random creative contests, not just giveaways, but fun contests to get people involved. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have a decent amount of that in the coming months. So
awesome.
That's it.
Well, thanks for being on the show today. I really appreciate you showing me your basement and sharing your story. I'm a big fan of Circles and we're, our friends and, you guys like, be sure to check him out on Instagram. Like it's like, he has some funny stuff and he's like on top of it. So you'll actually see like the funny stuff, right? Like within 5 minutes after it gets posted. And yeah, so thanks again for being on the show and I'll talk to you offline.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks
take
for
care.
having me.
All right.
Yep,
bye-bye.
You too.